First and foremost, as always, we give thanks, we give praise to the creator of heaven and earth, Amen. The God of our fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And with that, I say to my family here and my family online, Shabbat Shalom. And may be seated. First and foremost, as we said in our prayer, and as we always say, God is great above all things. You know, and we know the Most High, He gives us good times. Sometimes we suffer a few bad times. You know, we go through some changes. So, you know, this week was one of them weeks where, I mean, it wasn't so good in our favor because we lost a few of our own. We buried a few, we buried one, and we lost two more. So we got to take the bitter with the sweet because we know the Most High gives and He taketh away. Blessed be His name. You know, I mean, then you look through, and I was just reading text messages that Teitzei Yahu had just sent me, you know, telling me, yeah, everything is good, and, you know, I pray for you and your family and all of that, and then next thing you know, he's gone. So, I mean, you never know from one day to another. And then Yeriel, you know, that was a punch in the gut. Because I know Yeriel a lot of years, and she had that open door policy. I mean, I hung out with her sons, Prince Yiftach and Chief Davi, and it'd be 2, 3 in the morning, and we rolling up on Emma's house. You know, I mean, Israel, everybody ain't like that. You know what I mean? Coming into my house 3 o'clock in the morning, turning on TVs and laughing and joking, and you know. But she had that open door policy. So blessed be her memory. Amen. You know, we're gonna get into a portion here in the book of Deuteronomy. We're going to be in 21, and we're going to start at 10. And as we know, the book of Deuteronomy is pretty much recaps. Right. So we're recapping a lot of things because Israel as a people always need another reminder, and remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, and remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Right. So, you know, I mean, like I said, we have some good times, some bad times, and you know, even though this week, we have certain things that make us, you know, keep going and let us know that the Creator is with us, you know. And me, for example, I mean, when you can get your 2 grandsons, 4 years old, and they waking you up on a Tuesday, or you watching TV and they say, "Grandpa, it's time to pray." I'm like, okay, I can't say no, it ain't Shabbat, or later. I got to get up. I don't care if you work a night shift, you get up, you know, you get in prayer. Right. And they just go through it. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. One of them drumming while the other one saying the prayer. And it just gives you that smile and that hope that, you know, we going on. So with that, we'll start our portion.
We're in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 21, starting from verse 10. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
When thou goest forth to battle against thine enemies, and Jehovah thy God delivereth them into thy hands, and thou carriest them away captive, and seest among the captives a woman of goodly form, and thou hast a desire unto her, and wouldest take her to thee to wife. All right,
let's go from the beginning. It said when you go out to war against your enemies, we're going to have some fights, we're going to have some battles. And it said Jehovah your God hands them over to you. Right. All things and everything, again, we can't say it enough, comes from the Most High.
That's right.
So when we win battle, we say torah YAH, because we know that this victory came from the Creator.
That's right.
And it says, and you take captives. So suppose you see among the captives a beautiful woman whom you desire and want to marry. We're going to go into war. We're going to see our captives. And you going out, as a man, you go out there and something catch your eye. You know, I'm not killing her. I'm taking her to be my wife. So there's a procedure to that. Come see.
Then thou shalt bring her home to thy house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thy house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month. And after that thou mayest go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife.
Okay, now, again, with this procedure. In some cases, when you getting ready to take on a wife, you gotta wine her, dine her, you meet the parents, and you get the okay, and then, y'all court for a while. But this one is kind of different. You don't meet the parents, you kill the parents. So it's a different scenario, you know what I mean? You ain't gotta sweet talk her and game her, like, and do all the flowers and stuff. You just taking her home, you killed her parents, and she mourns them for a full month. Mm-hmm. So,
and it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not deal with her as a slave, because thou hast humbled her.
It said you can't deal with her like a slave. You can't say, oh, I don't want her to be my wife no more. Now you're going to work for me, or I'm going to sell you off to the highest bidder. You can't treat her like that because you dishonored her. You humbled her. So now, if it ain't your desire to have her no more, you must let her go on her way. Mm-hmm.
If a man have two wives, the one beloved and the other hated, and they have
hold on. Let's not go past that part too fast. Let's start all over.
Verse 15. If a man have two wives.
Okay, so that means that's permissible. Mm-hmm. Under this law, it's permissible to have more than one wife. So when you bring that slave girl home, while she is bewailing and mourning for her mom's 30 days, that's the time you taking out to talk to your first Isha and try to make her understand what's going on. You better take them 30 days and say, look, Isha, I like her, she's a goodly person, she'll be a help, to me and to you. You take them 30 days and use them wisely. Bro.
And the other hated, see, got the one beloved and the other hated, and they have borne him children, both the beloved and the hated. And if the firstborn son be hers that was hated, then it shall be. And the day that he causeth his sons to inherit that which he hath, that he may not make the son of the beloved the firstborn before the son of the hated, who is the firstborn. But he shall acknowledge the firstborn, the son of the hated, by giving him a double portion of all that he hath. For he is the first fruits of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his.
Okay. Now you have two wives, and you love one, and you kind of dislike the other one for whatever reason. Whatever time brought on, and now you dislike her. But she is the mother of your firstborn son. Mm-hmm. So now your dislike for her cannot be taken out on your son. If he's the firstborn, he's going to stay the firstborn. You treat him as the firstborn, you give him his portion as the firstborn. Unless he did something against God or something that you have to just send him out to the wilderness.
Right.
Because you can't have ungodly people, but you can't take away, as long as he's praising God with you, you can't take away his portion as the firstborn, the double portion, because you don't have no feelings for Zima anymore.
If a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, that will not hearken to the voice of his father, or the voice of his mother, and though they chasten him, will not hearken to them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, and bring him out unto the elders of this city, and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is a stubborn and rebellious, and he doth not hearken to our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones that he die. So shalt thou put away the evil from the midst of thee, and all Yisrael shall hear and fear.
Okay. Now, as I say many a times, all your children are not alike. Mm-hmm. Your identical twins are not all the way alike. No right. Two kids are alike. Some are good, some are bad. They bad. Some of us got bad kids. Some you can let go off to college, and some say, no, you staying right here. And you can't stay on campus. Come home. Come home. You can't let the leash out that far.
Right.
But and we love our kids. We love them all. So, but this is the procedure. You got, when you got that bad child, and he said you chastise them, and he still won't listen.
Right.
You got to take them up to the judges, to a higher authority.
Right.
But I'm gonna help the brother out. I used to be a reader, so I'm just gonna go to the Apocrypha and read a little something. And it says here in Ecclesiastes 30, we start at verse 1. He who loves his son will whip him often, so that he may rejoice at the way he turns out. So at the end of the matter, that's what you gotta look at the end of the matter. Don't look at the little cute little baby that's all up in the cookie jar and all of that. Oh, that's cute. That's nice. Oh, I'm not, I'm not gonna be like my parents. I ain't beating my kids. Then you gotta see the outcome. It said you enjoy them later on in life. It said he who disciplines his son will profit by him and will boast in him among the acquaintance. Later on, you get to boast. When they say, yo, that's your son? That's a nice guy. He's a mannerly young man. Yeah. She's a mannerly young lady. That's when you stick your chest out and all that. You're like, that's my boy, yeah. But that comes later on in life. It say, he who teaches his son will make his enemies envious and will glory in him among his friends. You get the glory later on. That's and your enemy's going to say, man, Prince Yeriel getting old. And I remember back in the days, I was scared of him, but, now I ain't scared of him. But he got them 2 sons, though. I'm scared of them. Your enemy's going to think twice because you raised your sons up right. And then we jump over here. It says, pamper a child, and he will terrorize you. Play with him, and he will grieve you. Do not laugh with him, or you will have sorrow with him, and in the end, you will gnash your teeth. At the end, you're gonna say, man, I played with him, I laughed with him, I joked with him, and now all of a sudden he's swinging on me. He doing this. He said, you can't do that. He said, give him no freedom in his youth, and do not ignore his errors. You try to give your children, the little ones, free reign, free pass. Yeah. Well, you listen. I'll sit down and listen, son. You're 5 years old. Tell me what you feel. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. It don't work like that. It says, and do not ignore his errors. Children make mistakes. Sometimes you can talk to them about the mistake they made, but sometimes you just can't ignore certain things. Certain things go back to where I started from. If you love him, whip him. Whip him. You ain't gonna kill him. That's right. He ain't gonna die. Right. We still here. There you go. we took a few. It said, bow down his neck in youth and beat his side while he is young. Beat that side while be all right. Might get a muscle in that leg. But it's things that we need to take in consideration, because if you don't chastise your child, chastise them as they get older, they start talking a little more sassy to you, and you see these things, and sometimes too close is too far. When he's going overboard now. That's right. Now you take him to the judges. All right, but let's move on.
Verse 22. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, and thou hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt surely bury him the same day. For he that is hanged is a reproach unto Yah, that thou defile not thy land which Jehovah thy God giveth thee for inheritance.
Okay, now, in this life of Israel, we have many ways to be put to death. Right. Stoning, burning, beheading, and as we see, hanging. And he said, he who is hung is a reproach unto the Most High. Don't let that body just hang there all day. Bring him down and bury him, because he is a reproach. So now and again, I'm going to take over the reading because I know my brother here don't have a New Testament.
Sir.
He wasn't raised that way. Some of us was raised like that, but he wasn't raised that way. So I'm going to take over. If we go to Acts chapter 5, verse 30, it says, the God of your ancestors raised up JJ, whom you have killed by hanging on a tree. I mean, JJ was a reproach to the Most High.
That's right.
If he was hung on a tree, you a reproach. That's something to think about. Come see.
That's what it says. Chapter 22. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep driven away, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely bring them back unto thy brother. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, and thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it home to thy house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother require it, and thou shalt restore it to him. And so shalt thou do with his ass, and so shalt thou do with his garment, and so shalt thou do with every lost thing of thy brothers which he have lost, and thou hast found, thou mayest not hide thyself.
I said, okay, you shall not watch your neighbor's ox or his sheep go astray away and ignore them. You shall take them back to their owner. If you know who the owner is, and you see that pit bull or that rottweiler done ran away, and you say, I know that that's brother so-and-so's, I know y'all gonna be a little scared of that dog, but you gotta try to grab him by the chain. We got cell phones. Yo, bro, I just seen your dog over here on Nostrand Avenue. I know you don't live nowhere close there, and he look hungry, so I'm not gonna grab him, but I'll follow him in my car until, you can pick up the slack. You let your brother know. That's because I know that's your dog. And it says, so do you do with the donkeys and all the animals. He said, you cannot withhold your help. You can't see that and say, I got something to do. I got a luncheon, with my buddies. Man, I can't have time out to see this guy's stuff go astray, and I got to take it all the way back home. You can't do that. You got to help your brother out. You got to weigh it up and say, okay, this is the law. I got to do this. Come see.
Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox falling down by the way, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again.
As we teach here so much, as Chief Uzziah would say, sometimes you and that brother ain't even getting along, right? But you see him struggling and in rain trying to fix this tire, and you know him from many years, and you know he ain't no mechanic type of guy. You know he struggled putting air in the tire. Now to change the tire, he gonna have problems. And you just know a little bit about that field. So you say, okay, I gotta pull over, help this guy. Say, yo, hold on, brother. You jack it up, you change the tire, you put the other tire back on, and then you've done your job, and you say shalom, and you leave. Because y'all might have a little problem. And y'all ain't had the conversation yet, but you help him when his car is falling down or his donkey's in a ditch. You got to still help. You got to do law.
Right.
Uh-huh.
A woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For whosoever doeth these things is an abomination unto Yahweh thy God.
He who does these things is abomination unto the Most High. I mean, in ancient times, we might not could have seen how that went, and we may have, certain things a male wore, the woman shouldn't wear. But now, it's privy to us. It's in our face. You see these men out here that want to come on and with dresses on, all the Wayne Wades and all these things.
Oh, man.
And then you see these women with the baseball caps. Girl walked in the store, she got a little goatee. I said, how'd she get a goatee? I said, how'd she get that little goatee? Trimmed up nice, better than mine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, But you can see by, her features that she's a woman. And she looked like a man. She looked like a man, pants sagging and all of that. So we see how this confusion goes. That's right. So we can't put nothing on that belongs to a woman. Right. And women shouldn't put our pants on. Right. I don't care if you're the only one in the house. Your husband ain't there no more. You don't wear the pants in the house. you still got to wear your skirt. Come see.
If a bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way, in any tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young or upon the eggs, thou shalt not take the dam with the young. Thou shalt in any wise let the dam go, but the young thou mayest take unto thyself, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days.
Okay. If you got a mother and a child, and you see the bird and the young pigeon, you can take the young pigeon, but leave the mother. She can have more babies.
Right.
But to take them both and kill them and eat them or whatever you do, you know, that's like killing off one of God's creatures. You're killing off the whole line.
Right.
So you let the mother go. Have other ones. You take the little one, and you may want to raise them up, but don't take them both.
Right.
Who yet?
Verse 8.
Uh-huh.
When thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a parapet for thy roof, that thou bring not blood upon thy house, if any man fall from thence.
Okay. And this is to save you from hurting somebody, because as I know for a fact personally, I'm scared of heights, certain heights. I mean, I didn't know it till I started working on the construction site. when we building a building, and I'm giving them bricks and giving them stuff, and then as you see the scaffold going up, and they like, okay, now you got to take this bricks to the 3rd floor. So now you got this thing lifting you up, and you looking down, and it's getting a little lower and lower, and then you got to take the bricks, go on the scaffold, and you walk the scaffold with these bricks, and it's uncontrollable when your legs just start shaking.
That's right.
You can't control it. You can't lock your legs with nothing. You be like, man. So, I mean, sometimes you get over it, and sometimes you don't, you know? And I just happened to, you know, work on a job, me and Principal, and we was both doing it, and, you know, he's a little scared of heights, I'm scared of heights. So one day the foreman came, and he said, look, our regular mortar mixer is out. Which one of y'all can mix mortar? And I did like this. Never mixed mortar a day in my life, but I'm getting off that scaffold.
Right.
So he walks away. I call the Mexican, come here. I said, what's the combination? Yeah. He said, well, 30 sands to 2 bags of cement. Gotcha. And I'm doing my thing. The foreman comes and he like, oh, this is a good mix. So I like you. All right, you got this. So the Mexican comes back from being sick. He sends him up there. I'm mixing the mortar. I done took his job. So one day me and Prince going to lunch. So Prince see me. I'm down there every day washing my car after I mixed the mortar and shining it up. And he looking down from the scaffold. So one day we going to lunch. He said, Prince. I said, he said, teach me how to mix that. I said, no. No. What, you want to take my job? Nah. I'm being a fool. Teach him how to mix it. Now I'm back up there. Nah, that ain't going to happen. But those are things. Come see.
Verse 9. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with 2 kinds of seed, lest the fullness of the seed which thou hast sown be forfeited together with the increase of thy vineyard. Thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. Thou shalt not wear mingled stuff, wool and linen together.
Okay, you can't mix seeds. That means you're taking the fullness out of the apple when you try to put it with a pear, right, or put an orange and make it with a lemon or whatever, and you think, oh, these are in the same family or something, citrus. No, it's not the same. The pear trees go over there, apple trees go over there, lemons, limes, whatever. But you cannot mix those. You can. It says, you shall not wear clothes made of wool and linen woven together. We can't have these mixed garments. For one thing, they itch. But it's the law. Don't mix materials. We Most High don't like mingled things. We ain't supposed to mingle with strangers. We ain't supposed to mix the seeds, and we ain't supposed to mix our garments. We're a pure people. Come see.
Verse 12. Thou shalt make thee twisted cords upon the 4 corners of thy covering, wherewith thou coverest thyself.
Okay, back on 9. Can you just read Leviticus 19:19? So maybe we get a better understanding.
Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with two kinds of seed. Neither shall there come upon thee a garment of two kinds of stuff mingled together.
That's just to reiterate on what's said here. Come see, no, we're gonna go to 12, and I'd like you to go to Numbers 15:37. Because like I said about Deuteronomy, they just recaps of what we've read in those first 4 books.
Right.
So what we need to do is just, remind ourselves, as always.
And Jehovah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them throughout their generations fringes in the corners of their garments, and that they put with the fringe of each corner a thread of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of Jehovah, and do them, and that ye go not about after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go astray, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God. I am Jehovah your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Jehovah your God.
And this is pretty much for all those who say, oh, the fringes ain't that important no more. The fringes ain't really necessary no more. I don't want to be putting pins in my $60, $70 shirt. I don't want to be doing this. This is law. This is much law as thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not commit adultery. This is law. Come see.
Verse 13. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, and lay wanton charges against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came nigh to her, I found not in her the tokens of virginity.
Okay, now and again, we take wives on, and sometimes things don't go right. And some of us don't know how to get out of a marriage the right way. I mean, we get a bill and all of that, but some of us want to send the woman out with a bad name for no reason at all, or some of us use other people to make ourselves look good, because I just don't like her no more. But I just can't feel like I can just walk away. I ain't got no other real reason. She can cook, she can clean, she can all that. I'm just not feeling her. So I'm gonna go to the pops and say, yo, you slighted me, man. She ain't no virgin.
Right.
And that's the worst thing you can do to a father. That's the worst thing you can do, is tell him that his daughter that he sent out to you as a virgin ain't a virgin. Come see.
Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elder of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath laid wanton charges, saying, I found not in thy daughter the tokens of virginity, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the garment before the elders of the city, and the elders of that city shall take the man and chastise him.
Okay. Now, all right. Read 19.
And they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin in Yisrael, and she shall be his wife. He may not put her away all his days.
Now, once the father present this stuff to the elders or the judges in this time, so now this guy's lying. He just want to get out of this marriage, and he try to make my daughter look bad.
Right.
Just trying to get out. But this is what I can show you to show that she is a virgin. Now, he get a punishment. And then he got to pay the Abba, and he said he's not permitted to put her away all his days. Now, if you just did it the right way, it ought to have been done. But now you stuck now. You stuck. Come see.
But if the thing be true, that the tokens of virginity were not found in the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she hath wrought a wanton deed in Yisrael to play the harlot in her father's house. So shalt thou put away the evil from the midst of thee.
Okay, and again, none of this is done in secret, That's like they do back in the days. Your daughter get pregnant in New York, and you send her down south to your cousins because you don't want no embarrassment. these things is done in front of the multitude, so that they see this and do no more such things. And as the man got punishment, she gets stoned to death, because that's a serious charge. Your father is sending you out there as a virgin with all of the right intentions, and then it's found out that you've been playing around. You went to college and you played around. You know, you went out and you snuck back in. Yeah, you played a harlot in your father's house. So that's to be put. So you put away. Come, she.
If a man be found lying with the woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die. The man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shalt thou put away the evil from Yisrael.
He said, if a man is caught lying with a wife of another man, both of them shall die. The man who lay with the woman as well as the woman, so shall thou purge the evil from Israel. It's adultery. A death penalty. Pretty simple. Come sheet.
If there be a damsel that is a virgin betrothed unto a man, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then he shall bring them both out into the gate of that city, and he shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he have humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away the evil from the midst of thee.
Okay. Once again, I help my brother out with some reading. So, if a man get caught sleeping with a betrothed woman, he said, and they're in the city, both of them should be put to death.
Right.
So, as we read in Matthew 1:18, it says, now the birth of JJ, the Messiah, took place in this way. When his mother Mary had been engaged to Joseph, but before they married together, she was found to be with child from the Holy Ghost. Now, I don't know who this Holy Ghost guy is, but he got to die along with Mary.
That's a fact.
They got to die.
Yes, sir.
That's adultery. And they only engaged. But as we read here, it says, engaged to be married. He says, and he meet her, and they be in the city. He said he violated his neighbor's wife. She's still the wife, even though y'all just engaged. Right. Even though we didn't get together yet, she's still engaged. She's still my wife. She's still with me right now. So anybody else sleeping with her, y'all done committed adultery, which is a penalty of death. Just something else for our New Testament people. Come sheet.
Verse 25. But if the man find the damsel that is betrothed in the field, and the man take hold of her, and lie with her, and the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man rises against his neighbor, and slayeth him, even so is this matter. For he found her in the field, the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her.
All right. Now, this is a different scenario. Now, she's out in the field for whatever reason, but we sent our daughters out to help get the water and to do different things, and she's out there, and this guy catch her out there, and he sleeps with her, he rapes her. It says, the guy should die. It says, the young woman has not committed any offense punishable by death. It says she may have cried out for help, but nobody was there to save her. So not knowing whether that happened, she's not punishable by death. But he's definitely going to die. So we have to ask ourselves where the two-witness rule comes in. Something to think about. Come sheet.
And if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, that is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he have humbled her. He may not put her away all his days.
Again, you humble this girl who is not, she ain't betrothed or engaged, but the father, you was holding her to marry her off to somebody. So now, since you did that, you G'd her, y'all rapped and talked, and you wanted to take the quick route. He says, now you're going to give the father 50 shekels of silver, and you keep them, because you paid me the dowry of a virgin. Yeah, it's cheaper to keep it now. You paid for it. It's yours. Yeah. Come see.
Chapter 23, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
A man shall not take his father's wife, and shall not uncover his father's skirt. Mm-hmm. He that is crushed or maimed in his privy parts shall not enter into the assembly of Yahweh. A bastard shall not enter the assembly of Yahweh. Even to the 10th generation shall none of his enter into the assembly of Yahweh.
All right. Now, it says, a man shall not marry his father's wife, thereby violating his father's rights. Once your father marry a woman, she is off limits to you. Whether he divorce her, whether he die, whatever happened, you cannot violate your father's rights.
Right.
You cannot take your father's wife to be your wife. Mm-hmm. And it says, one who has testicles crushed or whose privates is cut off shall not be admitted to the assembly of Jehovah. Certain things got to be pure. You can't bring offering that's messed up. Your cows, your calves, whatever you bring up, got to be in tip top shape, and you got to be the same way. If you messed up somewhere, you just can't walk up in the temple like that. Come see.
An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the assembly of Yahweh. Even to the 10th generation shall none of them enter into the assembly of Yahweh forever, because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when you came forth out of Egypt. And because they hided against thee Bil'am, the son of Beor from Petor of Aram Nacharaim, to curse thee. Nevertheless, Yahweh thy God would not hearken unto Bil'am, but Yahweh thy God turned the curse into a blessing unto thee, because Yahweh thy God loved thee. Thou shalt not seek their peace, nor their prosperity all thy days forever.
All the days forever. And this is written again, as it was written earlier, because we are one who forgets very easily. We will go and play nice with our enemies. Right. Those who have enslaved your grandfathers and did this, and you know this for a fact. Your grandma and your moms, they got records of Mr. Johnson and his plantation, and your great grandfather was on there. And down the line you meet some of Mr. Johnson's family, and y'all get the thing, well, that was back in their days. Nah. The apple don't fall far from the tree. And trust me, as I teach my sons and you teach your sons, so it still goes down with them. You might have some black friends on the job, but don't trust them too much. As well as I'm going to tell mine, same thing. Hey, bye. You might have your buddy, and all of that, and y'all work together and fix machinery or whatever y'all do, but don't leave your drink by him, don't leave your food by him, and go away and say, I got to go to the bathroom, watch my food. Nah. Some people, they just do dirty for no reason. Oh. They're spitting your food or anything. So this is written down to say, listen, don't play nice with your enemy.
That's right.
That's why we're supposed to be to ourselves, because we have with our brother and our sister, we'll hold a grudge forever. Right. From the smallest thing, we'll hold a grudge. But to those out there that we really know that don't like us, that just, that smile up in your face, we just have a way of clinging to them. And, saying some of my best friends is Chinese. I'm just using Chinese because
Verse 8. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land. The children of the 3rd generation that are born unto them may enter into the assembly of Jehovah.
All right. Now, they say Edom was our brother. We had our differences, but around the 3rd generation, maybe we solved something, we settled something. And the Egyptians, they had us in that bonds thing because most time we went into slavery is because of us. Because of us and the Most High. That's right. So he said after a while, you can get back with them. You can break bread. Come see.
When thou goest forth in camp against thy enemies, Then thou shalt keep thee from every evil thing. If there be among you any man that is not clean by reason of that which chanceth him by night, then shall he go abroad out of the camp, and he shall not come within the camp. But it shall be, when evening cometh on, he shall bathe himself in water, and when the sun is down, he may come within the camp. Thou shalt have a place also without the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad. And thou shalt have a paddle among thy weapons. And it shall be, when thou sittest down abroad, that thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee. For Jehovah thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp, to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unseemly thing in thee, and turn away from thee.
It says you shall have a designated area outside the camp to which you shall go.
That's right.
With your utensils you shall have a trowel. When you relieve yourself outside, you shall dig a hole with it and then cover it up the excrement. Because Jehovah your God travels along with you, with your camp, to save you and to hand over your enemies to you. Therefore, your camp must be holy. So we have to take that in consideration these days also. You know, when we come here, you know, we don't, if you come and you unclean, we don't want no unclean people in here. We, you know, certain things we don't want because we trying to invoke the name of the Most High, you know, and certain things Most High won't come around. Certain filths the Creator won't come around. You know, as you say in your house, you say, here, listen, all right, you got a baby, you use the pamper, take the pamper outside.
Right.
Have a little plastic bag like they do with the dog when they pick that up. Not us, y'all know the white folks do that pickup thing for the dogs. but that's another story. But if we want to invoke the name of the Most High, we got to try to keep this place as clean as possible because this is all we got right now. And we want the Most High here with us. So we have to make sure we keep that clean. Come see.
Verse 16. Thou shalt not deliver unto his master a bondman that is escaped from his master unto thee. He shall dwell with thee in the midst of thee in the place which he shall choose within one of thy gates, where it liketh him best. Thou shalt not wrong him. There shall be no harlot of the daughters of Yisrael, neither shall there be a sodomite of the sons of Yisrael. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a harlot or the price of a dog into the house of Jehovah thy God for any vow, for even both these are an abomination unto Jehovah thy God.
Okay, first it said a slave who have escaped to you from their owner shall not be given back to them. Now a slave is escaped. I mean, if you treat your servant well, your servant don't want to leave you. Your servant want to bore his ear to the door and be with you for the rest of his life. But if you are a tyrant and you're beating on his slave almost to death and the slave run over to me and I see the webs and all that on his body, why would I want to turn him back over to you? You know, because then that blood might be on me because he going to kill you. Oh, you ran away from me? I got something for you. So he said, let him dwell with you. You know, he ran to you because he see how you treat your servants. You know, he said, I work for you, but please don't send me back to that guy. And it's unlawful to do so. He said, none of the daughters of Israel shall be temple prostitutes. None of the sons of Israel shall be temple prostitutes. You shall not bring a fee of a prostitute or wages of a male prostitute into the house of Jehovah your God in payment for any vow, for both of these are an abomination unto Jehovah. You can't be a pimp or a madam, you know, out here having these girls work for you, or these guys now, and they working for you and bringing you back money, and then you think you're going to come up here, Shabbat, and take that money and say, hey, Chief, this is my donation. If we know what you do, we don't, you hold on to that, bro. Right. You hold that. You know, because that's abomination unto the Most High. You keep that money, man. Where we at?
Verse 20. Thou shalt not lend upon interest to thy brother, interest of money, interest of victuals, interest of anything that is lent upon interest. Unto a foreigner thou mayest lend upon interest, But unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon interest, that Jehovah thy God may bless thee in all that thou puttest thy hand unto, and the land whither thou goest in to possess it.
Okay, now your brother came to you, as we always say, because some of us fall on hard times, and the poor shall always be amongst you. So he said, Prince, I don't get my money to the 15th, man, but I really need to take care of these bills, because I don't want no late fees and this and that, and you got the money. And you say, well, how much is it? $75. You say, okay, here's the 75. Give me back 100, man. You can't do that to your Israelite brother.
Yeah.
You can't do that to a stranger. You can put a little tax on there. Yeah. Oh, okay. $2,000? Wow. Okay, all right. But to your brother or your sister that's in need, you can't put interest on it.
Right. When thou shalt vow unto Jehovah thy God, thou shalt not be slack to pay it. For Jehovah thy God will surely require it of thee, and it will be sin in thee. But if thou shalt forbid to vow, it shall be no sin in thee. That which is gone out of thy lips thou shalt observe and do, according as thou hast vowed freely unto Jehovah thy God, even that which thou hast promised with thy mouth. Okay, can you go to Ecclesiastes 5 and start at 1 through 6? Ecclesiastes 5.
Change.
What verse?
5, start at 1.
Okay.
1 through 6.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thy heart be hasty to utter a word before Yah. For Yah is in heaven, and thou upon earth, therefore let thy words be few. For a dream cometh through a multitude of business, and a fool's voice through a multitude of words. When thou vowest a vow unto Yah, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou vowest. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to bring thy flesh into guilt, neither say thou before the messenger that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hands? For through the multitude of dreams and vanities there are also many words, but fear thou God. Amen. Okay, so basically what that's saying is the same thing. If you make a vow to Jehovah your God, do not postpone fulfilling it. Right. If you said you're going to do something on the 15th, do it on the 15th. Don't let the 15th come and you say, oh man, I'm kind of short. I ain't know I missed that many days of work. Yeah. I told Chief, I told the Most High I'm going to give Chief Elquan $100 this week. I ain't got it. Well, you're going to have to cut something else, make that $100 right, because that's what you said in your prayers and in your vows. Right. So don't postpone that when you're talking to the Most High. And it says, God will surely require it of you, and you would incur guilt. But if you refrain from vowing, you will not incur guilt. That's it. You ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? That's what's wrong with black people now. You know what I mean? You just say stuff out your mouth. You ain't had to say that. Sometimes just make a Nike commercial. Just do it. Yeah. Just do it. You know what I mean? Surprise everybody here, man. You know? And that just came from your heart, free will. But you go promising, you got to make that right. Right. So, yeah, stay on your word. So it's easier just to refrain. Hold back. Where we at, Chief? Verse 25. When thou comest into thy neighbor's vineyard, then thou shalt mayest eat grapes until thou have enough at thine own pleasure. But thou shalt not put any in thy vessel. When thou comest into thy neighbor's standing corn, then thou mayest pluck ears with thy hand. But thou shalt not remove a sickle unto thy neighbor's standing corn. Okay. Now, we got land. We got trees. We got all kind of stuff. And you're a passerby. And we got a road, where people can pass through your land and all that. So you're a little hungry, and you see over there a grapevine or something. You can go over there
have you a few grapes or apple tree and pluck your apple and eat it. But to put stuff all in your pocket and say, man, my journey is kind of long. I might have to stash 2 more apples and put some grapes in here. You don't have the power to do that. That's you stealing. Mm-hmm. You stealing.
Right.
I make my money off this stuff here. Right. You can eat some, but to take some of my profit away, you're stealing. Mm-hmm. So have it, fill your belly, but not your pockets.
That's it.
Come sheet.
Chapter 24, hallelujah. When a man taketh for wife and marrieth her, then it come to pass if she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some unseemly thing in her, that he writeth her a bill of divorcement, and giveth in her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, and she departeth out of his house, and goeth and become another man's wife, and the latter husband hateth her, and writeth her a bill of divorcement, and giveth it in her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die who took her to be his wife, her former husband who sent her away may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before Yahweh, and thou shalt not cause the land to sin which Yahweh thy God giveth thee for an inheritance.
All right. Now, again, as in earlier chapters, suppose a man enters into a marriage with a woman, but she does not please him because he finds something objectionable about her. Again, we marry people sometimes too quick, and you don't even get to see the real person. You don't get to see the other side of that person. Mm-hmm. And then once you see the other side, you be like, wow, we had a small argument, man. I wake up to a knife. She got a knife in her hand. I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this relationship. So you give her a bill. You're like, nah, I don't like this. Mm-hmm. You give her a bill of divorce. or you see something else unseemly. Mm-hmm. And like I said, things come in time. And they have a thing where this sister, I forgot her name off top, she had a record. Trying to remember the record now. But the lyrics go, y'all might remember it. It says, now you see the grapes, the juice is sour when it used to be so sweet. Oh. And I can't think that you ain't talking about me. So he is talking about you. If you don't know, now you know. He was talking about you when he said, I can't help but to wonder if you're talking about me. Because in relationships, like you said, the juice, when we first met, it was sweet. And most relationships are sweet in the beginning. Things are beautiful, y'all inseparable, you're doing all kind of things. But this thing called the 7-year itch. And once you get into the 7-year itch, y'all been married about 7 years. And in that 7 years, she done had 2, maybe 3 children. So now she's a stay-at-home wife. And you got to take up 2 jobs to pay the mortgage on this house. And you used to be coming home and, hey, honey, now you come, you give her a peck on the cheek, and you just want to sit down and read the paper. Things done changed in the 7 years. Life has changed. You ain't have the babies when y'all started. Now you got the babies. She's tired. You work 2 jobs. You tired. So there's a thing, where, the fire was kindled early, but now it's dimming down. It's dimming down. So, you just got the pilot light on right now. Just the pilot light. So, time goes by, and hopefully y'all can, turn the knob and hear them clicks and get the fire going again. But sometimes it don't happen like that. Sometimes the pilot light just goes out. And you just, before y'all do something toxic, you know what I mean? Before you put hands on somebody or something, you write her a bill of divorce. Mm-hmm. And she go her way and you continue on your way. Okay, now, what she do? She meet somebody else?
Came.
Come she.
And she departed out of his house and goeth and become another man's wife. Mm-hmm. And the latter husband hateth her and writeth her a bill of divorcement and giveth it in her hand and sendeth her out of his house. Or if the latter husband die who took her to be his wife, her former husband who sent her away may not take her again to be his wife. After that, she is defiled. Okay.
Now, with this situation, you gave her a bill of divorce. She's mother to your kids, right? So she meets another guy. Now, in time, you see her in Super Walmarts and ShopRite and all of that. And she looking good now. She looking real good. But, she married to another guy. So in time, they get a divorce or the guy die. So, okay. So now, she come into your house because she got to visit the kids. And ancient time, the father kept the kids. So she coming for her monthly visit or whatever. And you see her coming up the walkway and she looking good. You know what I mean? And you like, wow, her husband dead. I think I'm going to shoot my shot, man. And ain't going to be able to do it.
Not going to be able to do it.
Ain't going to be able to do it. I don't care how good she looking now. She done been to the gym. Her hair look nice. You know what I mean? You got the kids, so she got plenty of time on her hands. But to shoot your shot, you can't do it. She defiled unto you. You had your chance. You never get a second chance at a first impression. So don't be willy-nilly to give out that paper too quick. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can work through things, but some people, brothers say, oh, man, she burnt the eggs. You're out. Instead of just saying, hey, why don't you go to culinary school or whatever it is. Why don't you take some cooking lessons or something? Oh, yeah, you got some spare time. Yeah, since you're home with the kids, I'm going to give you a dozen eggs to mess up. Practice. Practice on the eggs while you're home doing nothing. You know what I mean? But you can't go back. You can't double back. So be careful when you give out them bills.
Verse 5. When a man taketh a new wife, he shall not go out into the host. Neither shall he be charged with any business. He shall be free for his house 1 year, and shall cheer his wife whom he hath taken.
All right, when you get a new wife, you got to be free to cheer her up, to, y'all get to know each other, do some things, go out, take a little journey, So, therefore, when we do take these wives, we got to have some bread in our pocket. You know what I mean? You can't just want to marry a girl and say, listen, I'm going to stay with my parents, even Albert, you stay over there for a little while, And once I get a better job, we get together. That's not how it goes. And you got to be prepared because you got to take time off. You can't just keep working them 2 jobs and you got your brand new wife sitting over there. She don't get bored. The mind start racing and going all over the place. And the neighbor, he hit lotto, so he over there watching you and your wife, your brand new wife fight. He gonna shoot his shot. So you gotta be careful.
No man shall take the mill or the upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh for man's life to pledge.
It says, no one shall take a mill or upper mill and pledge, for that would be taking a life in pledge. You taking a man's livelihood. So what, I owe you $250. You can't take my screw gun and all my tools that I need to work in order to pay you the money. Right, exactly. So you can't take that to pledge. You can't say, well, give me your toolbox till you pay me my $250. How? You sending me out there to rob somebody. But, you got to take, if you take something. Sometimes you working with your brother, you just say, here, man, I know you working hard, man. Just give me that back, when you get up to speed. Come see.
If a man be found stealing any of his brethren of the children of Israel, and he deal with him as a slave and sell him, then that thief shall die. So shalt thou put away the evil from the midst of thee.
Can't kidnap your brothers.
That's right.
Or your sisters. You can't hold them hostage. You can't, you can for a ransom. You can't be down on your luck. You know what I mean? And your Israelite brother hit lotto and you're going to take his wife and say, yo, give me $500,000 for your wife. And you taking pictures and sending it to him. You can't do that, Israel. You can't do that. That's his portion. You can't kidnap our people. Just because you see the grass look green on that side and you want to take the shortcut route, you can't do that. That's a death penalty.
Take heed in the plague of leprosy, that thou observe diligently and do according to all that the priests, the Levites, shall teach you. As I commanded them, so ye shall observe to do. Remember what Jehovah thy God did unto Miriam by the way as ye came forth out of Egypt.
Okay, we gotta look for outbreaks, and nobody knows better than you. Nobody sees you better than you. You can see everything, your body. You can see if you got that thing over there and it look like it's spreading, and you can see that. You go check out your dermatologist. If he say, yeah, man, that don't look so good, you need to sit down for a minute. You don't come on back in here like that. You know? If you took that COVID test and you tested positive, you don't come back in here like that. You don't spread stuff like that. You know what I mean? You don't say, I feel better now. Nah, take another test. Until it say negative. But you don't come amongst, your family with something that can be spread.
Verse 10, when thou dost lend thy neighbor any man of loan, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge. Thou shalt stand without, and the man to whom thou dost lend shall bring forth the pledge without unto thee.
All right. If I loan you some money or whatever, I can't come in your house. Yo, give me my money, man. You sitting there with your family eating dinner and all of that. Yo, I told you to give me my money, what I'm gonna do to you. You can't do that. Don't embarrass me in front of my Isha and my children. So they say, oh man, you broke like that? I was broke. I was over there begging people for money and got them coming to the house. You can't treat your neighbor, their brother like that. You can't embarrass them. You wait outside,
right.
Got cell phones now. Yo, what's going on? What you doing? Come on out and talk to me, man. Let's walk and talk. Let's take a walk around the block. So, give you a chance to explain. Listen, man, I know I said this, but it didn't happen that way. My bad, man. But you don't go to the neighbor house,
right.
Your brother house, embarrassing your brother. Come see.
And if he be a poor man, thou shalt not sleep with his pledge. Thou shalt surely restore to him the pledge when the sun goeth down, that he may sleep in his garment, and bless thee. And it shall be righteousness unto thee before Jehovah thy God.
Okay. Again, with your neighbor. Now, if he fell on hard times, and the last thing that he got is that nice leather coat.
Right.
That nice fly leather coat with the fur inside and all that. And you be like, you've been covered in it for a long time anyway. So pretty much, if you've been covered in it. So now you see he owe you and he can't pay. He fell on hard times. He poor. Yo, just let me hold that coat. Now the man still got to go out to work and all of that. You can't make him freeze going to work because you fly with his coat on.
Right. You
got to give him back that coat, and you hold on to that, bro. You got to give him back what he's sleeping in or whatever. Hold on to that. In the daytime, back in Israel, it was hot outside, but at night it got cold. Now he pledged to you that nice blanket, and the sun is going down. Yo, take your blanket back, man.
Right.
Relax yourself. That's how we gotta treat each other. That's the love we gotta have for each other. You can't abhor your brothers or sisters just because they fell on hard times. Y'all been cool for years, but now you got a promotion on your job, and he got fired. I don't think I'm going over there by Yohanan-san because he be begging too much. He ain't got nothing. I ain't called begging. He asking his brother. Come see.
14. Thou shalt not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy, whether he be of thy brethren or of thy strangers that are in thy land within thy gates. And the same day thou shalt give him his hire, neither shall the sun go down upon it, for he is poor, and setteth his heart upon it, lest he cry against thee unto Jehovah, and it be sin in thee.
And you incur guilt because you got the money, you hired me to do a job, and you want to not pay me, hold on to my money for whatever reason. Now I got to go back to home to my family and say, yeah, I finished the job, but bro said, yeah, he going to pay me Friday before the sun go down. It's Tuesday. Job finished. Give me my money, man. I want my monies, man. But some people try to hold on to your bread. They want to take the money they owe you, invest it over here, try to double up and then come back and pay you. When you finish the job done. Let me walk away with my money. But this wouldn't be here if it wasn't people who did this kind of stuff. So we just got to always be rehearsing this so we don't fall into that. Come see.
The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, neither shall the children be put to death for the fathers. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
All right, let's check one more of these out here. Now we're going in this book of John 3:17. It said, indeed, God did not send the Son into the world to condemn the world, but in order that the world might be saved through him. Now, this is the New Testament, which most of the time contradicts with our old, with our holy scriptures. So they saying he didn't come to condemn you, but to save you through his death, which don't go with. The parents shall not be put to death for the children.
That's right.
Nor shall the children be put to death for their parents. Only for their own crimes may a person be put to death. You did the crime, you do the time. There's many things that my son may have did, and I said, man, if I could take his place, I would. But sometimes it ain't right. If you did that, you got to pay for that, bro. I'm here for you. But certain places I can't get you out of.
That's right.
You know what I mean? If you choose to do this, or juggle on the corner, or pickpocket, or boost, and you get caught, if you get locked up, you got locked up. Yeah, I can't do a fill-in. I fill in the jail time for you, and you still go back and do what you're doing. Yeah. Now you gotta, take a time out and think about what you did. Right. So you go to jail for your crime, I go to jail for mine. Come see.
Thou shalt not pervert the justice due to the stranger or to the fatherless, nor take the widow's raiment to pledge. But thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Egypt, and Jehovah thy God redeemed thee thence. Therefore I command thee to do this thing. All
right. We got to remember where we come from so as that we don't go back there. We got to remember that one time we were servants. We were slaves. We was bond people. We got to remember that. We got to keep reading in our history and see what happened to us back then so we don't fall back into that trap. We're trying to get out of that trap now. So we got to know what our forefathers did wrong, and you shall not deprive a resident alien or orphan of justice. When a case come up and you in a judge's position, and this guy come before you and say, listen, this Israelite guy, he did this, he robbed me, he did that, whatever the charges are, you can't say, nah, bro, you ain't Israel. I can't go over my brother for you. You got to give them their justice. If your brother wrong, he wrong. And if he doing the same law you doing, he know he wrong. But he feel he can get away from his wrong because his people's going to look out for him. And you got to say, nah, bro, you got to eat that. You got to eat that. You got to look at that person, that poor, that alien, and say, he's right this time. I don't care where he's from. He's right. You wrong. And that's how we got to do it.
Verse 19. When thou reapest thy harvest in thy field, and hast forgot a sheaf in the field, thou shalt not go back to fetch it. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow, that Jehovah thy God may bless thee in all the works of thy hands. When thou beatest thine olive tree, thou shalt not go over the boughs again. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. When thou gatherest the grapes of thy vineyard, thou shalt not glean it after thee. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Egypt. Therefore I command thee to do this thing.
Okay, you don't get to just, you got the basket and it's full of grapes and apples, and one of the apples roll out. And you want to put the basket down and put the apple up there, and then two more roll out because you're trying to be greedy. You know what I'm saying? When you gleaning, you doing all that, leave some for the passerby.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They can't put nothing in their pocket, but you doing your harvest thing, so just leave a few, leave something. So that they, as they pass by, they can still eat something. You making your money. But don't try to glean. Don't try to get every little thing. 'Cause again, you got to remember, you was in Egypt. You couldn't get no straw. It was kind of hard. You had to go look for your own straw. So we got to remember these things. Come, sheep, brother.
Chapter 25. If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, and the judges judge them by justifying the righteous and condemning the wicked, then it shall be, if the wicked man deserve to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face, according to the measure of his wickedness by number. 40 stripes he may give him, he shall not exceed, lest if he should exceed and beat him above these with many stripes, then thy brother should be dishonored before thine eyes.
Okay, we're going to get in situations. We're going to get in arguments, in debates with our brothers and our sisters. Now, when we go to the judges, they're going to hear our matter. One of y'all going to be right, one of y'all going to be wrong. Now, in the wrong, they condemn you to the amount of stripes, 15, 40 stripes, your max. They max you out. Now, when you start going over the 40, now it's like you degrading your brother. You know, you downing them. Because now once 40 is enough. But once you start spazzing and get out of your mind, you degrading your brother now. Now, you know, you making him feel like a slave. He took his lashes, and now you want to go overboard. So we're not to do that. We're not to exceed a certain amount of stripes that they're supposed to get, the lashes, if that's what the judges say. 40 stripes, 40 stripes. Come, see, brother.
Thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out the corn.
Okay. Again, you got to treat your animals in a good fashion, like you treat your servants. If you want them to work for you and work hard for you and enjoy their work, the same thing with your animal. You can't expect your ox to plow your land good and all of that, and you put a muzzle on him where he can't even stop and get a little something to eat once in a while. You know what I mean? He can't even refresh himself. But you want him to work for you hard. So don't muzzle your animal, whereas that he can't partake of a little something when he feel, you know, you can't say when I'm hungry. So don't muzzle, you know, your animal. Come, shoot.
If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not be married abroad unto one not of his kin. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of her husband's brother unto her. And it shall be, that the firstborn that she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother that is dead, that his name be not blotted out of Yisrael. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then his brother's wife shall go up to the gate unto the elders and say, my husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Yisrael. He will not perform the duty of a husband's brother unto me. Then the elders of his city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife draw nigh unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face. And she shall answer and say, so shall it be done unto the man that doth not build up his brother's house, and his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that had his shoe loosed.
Okay, again, one of the most important things, because none of us live forever, is to have sons to raise up a name behind you. And if you're unfortunate not to have that, and you got a brother there, your brother needs to take on the brotherly duties and make a child, make a name for you, because the last thing you want is for your name to be blotted out of Israel forever. And if no Yissascharites come behind me, Issachar is going, one of the tribes is done. So we want to just keep the tribes going. So you got to have an embarrassment, because it got to be a reason. And when the judges summon you up, and you just say, well, I can't do that. My Isha, you know, or this, or whatever the case may be, you know, you never liked her when she was married to your brother. So you have to just, you take that thing. You get your shoes loose, spit in your face, and that's what you're going to be called throughout Israel. But you go home, you wash your face, you put another pair of shoes on, and you keep it moving. But that's what got to happen. That's judgment for that penalty.
Verse 11. When men strive together one with another, and the wife of the one draweth near to deliver her husband out of the hand of him that smiteth him, and putteth forth her hand and taketh him by the secrets, then thou shalt cut off her hand, thy eyes shall have no pity.
Okay. Sisters, this is no wise says you can't help your husband when you're in a situation. Right. If you see somebody got your husband on the ground and pounding him out, you can go behind and scratch his eyeballs out. You can do a lot of stuff to help deliver your husband from this guy. But unto his genitals you may not touch. Those are his baby makers. Mm-hmm. He might not have a son yet. You can't crush the genitals. You gotta get your hand cut off. So you can do a lot of stuff to save your husband. But the baby makers you can't touch. That's against the law. Come see.
Thou shalt not have in thy bag diverse weights, a great and small. Thou shalt not have in thy house diverse measures, a great and a small. A perfect and just weight shalt thou have. A perfect and a just measure shalt thou have, that thy days may be long upon the land which Jehovah thy God giveth thee. For all that do such things, even all that do unrighteously, are an abomination unto Jehovah thy God.
All that do unhonestly. Mm-hmm. If I got a store and my Israelite family is coming in, I can't have like some stores that you go in and you want to say, what's the price of this here? Oh, if you need to know the price, you can't afford it. No, I just need to know that I'm paying the same thing he paid. Just because I come on Kingston Avenue, you can't tell me this is one price, and then when this guy come in, he pay another price. I need the price there per pound. So I know that you doing justice. I'm paying the same thing as old buddy here paying. Mm-hmm. So we're not able to do unjust weights and unjust balance because I like you and I don't like you that much, but I want your money. So I'm going to charge you a little extra. Come see.
Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way as she came forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way and smote the hindmost of thee. All that were enfeebled in thy rear when thou wast faint and weary, then he feared not God. Therefore it shall be, when Jehovah thy God have given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, in the land which Jehovah thy God giveth thee for inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven, thou shalt not forget. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Let's just read Exodus 17, verse 8 through 13. Got a couple of minutes.
Then came Amalek and fought with Yisrael and Rephidim. And Moshe said unto Joshua, choose us out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moshe had said to him and fought with Amalek. And Moshe, Aharon, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moshe held up his hand that Yisrael prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moshe's hands were heavy. And they took a stone and put it under him and sat thereon. And Aharon and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Jehovah said unto Moshe, write this for a memorial in the book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moshe built an altar and called the name of it Adonai Nisi, and said, the hand upon the throne of Jehovah, Jehovah will have war with Amalek from generation to generation.
Amen. And this is just so we remember. This is why we go over this stuff and over this, because Israel has a tendency to forget certain things. So that's why we have to stay in this book day by day. And with that, I'll say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.